She was only 15 years old, a bright teenager from Los Angeles who vanished without a trace. For 16 long months, her family searched for answers. But no one knew where Celeste Rivas had gone, until now. Her body was found inside a Tesla, a car registered to rising music star D4vd. And what connects a teenage girl to a global musician? This is the Celeste Rivas case. Los Angeles, a city of dreams and sometimes of nightmares. In September 2025, a discovery shocked the entertainment world and left investigators scrambling for answers. A decomposed body hidden inside the front trunk of a Tesla, registered to one of music's rising stars, the singer known as D4vd. That body belonged to a 15-year-old girl named Celeste Rivas, who had been missing for over a year. Tonight, we unravel the timeline, the evidence, the unanswered questions, and why this case has become one of the most disturbing mysteries of our time. Who was Celeste Rivas? Celeste Rivas was just 13 years old when she was reported missing on April 5, 2024, from Lake Elsinore, California. A teenager with her whole life ahead of her, described by her family as bright, curious, and someone who dreamed of becoming an artist herself. Her disappearance devastated her family. Flyers went up, searches were organized, but weeks turned into months, and then over a year. Who is D4vd? Meanwhile, in the music world, a new name was rising. David Anthony Burke, known professionally as D4vd, shot to fame with viral hits on TikTok and streaming platforms. Songs like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me gained millions of plays. By 2025, he was collaborating with top artists, performing on big stages and being hailed as one of Gen Z's breakout voices. But fame has a dark side, and soon, D4vd's name would be tied to a tragedy no one could have predicted. The discovery. On September 8, 2025, employees at a tow yard in Hollywood made a horrifying discovery. A black Tesla had been impounded after being abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. People nearby had reported a foul odor coming from the vehicle. When workers opened the car's front trunk, the so-called frunk, they found a large bag. Inside were human remains badly decomposed. The car was traced back to its registered owner, D4vd. The coroner later confirmed the remains belonged to Celeste Rivas, now 15 years old, the girl who had vanished more than a year earlier. Identification. Identifying the body wasn't easy. Decomposition had advanced so far that visual recognition alone was impossible. But forensic testing confirmed the truth. There was also one chilling detail, a small tattoo on her right index finger. It read simply, "Shu." Her mother recognized it instantly. Celeste had gotten the tattoo before she went missing. And soon, fans online pointed out something else. D4vd had the exact same tattoo in the exact same place. The investigation. Police quickly moved to investigate. A search warrant was executed at a Hollywood Hills home where D4vd had been staying. Officers seized devices, personal items, and digital records. At this point, the LAPD confirmed they were treating the case as a homicide investigation. But here's what makes this case so confusing. No cause of death has been released. The coroner deferred their findings, meaning more tests are needed. No arrests have been made. Despite the car being registered to D4vd, investigators have not charged him with any crime. The timeline is unclear. We still don't know when Celeste died, or how long her body had been in that Tesla before discovery. Public reaction. The public response has been explosive. Social media platforms filled with theories, anger, and grief. Some point to the tattoo connection. Others ask, was Celeste involved with D4vd? Her mother even said Celeste had a boyfriend named David. Was this just a coincidence, or something more? Meanwhile, brands and artists reacted swiftly. Several collaborations with D4vd were pulled or suspended. Concerts and promotions were cancelled. The once rising star was now under a cloud of suspicion. Theories and speculation. Online speculation has been rampant. Some users claim Celeste and D4vd were romantically linked, citing the matching shoe tattoos. Others argue it could be a disturbing coincidence, pointing out that tattoo designs like this are not uncommon. Another theory questions the abandoned car. Why would a rising star leave his Tesla in the Hollywood Hills, only for it to be towed away? Did he abandon it knowingly, or did someone else use the vehicle hoping to frame him or cover their tracks? Investigators haven't confirmed any of these theories. For now, they remain just that, speculation. Impact on D4vd. For D4vd, the impact has been immediate and severe. Brands have pulled collaborations. Fellow artists have deleted songs featuring him from their playlists. Promoters have canceled shows. Public opinion has turned sharply. While he insists he is cooperating fully with investigators, many fans have already drawn their conclusions. As of now, however, it's critical to state, D4vd has not been charged with any crime. He remains a key figure in the case only because the Tesla was registered in his name. What comes next? So where does the investigation go from here? Authorities are waiting for the coroner's final report. This could reveal cause and time of death. Forensic evidence from the Tesla and from the home that was searched. DNA, fingerprints, digital records. These could be the puzzle pieces investigators need. Communication records. Phone logs, text messages, social media activity. Did Celeste ever contact D4vd directly? Did they meet? Until these answers emerge, the case remains open and very, very fragile. A bigger picture. Beyond the celebrity angle, this story is about something bigger. Celeste Rivas was a child. Her disappearance and her tragic death remind us of how vulnerable young people can be, of how easy it is for cases of missing children to fade from public attention, until something horrific brings them back. This case also shows us the dark side of fame. When stars are involved in tragedies, speculation spreads faster than facts. But in the end, what matters most is justice for a 15-year-old girl whose life was cut short. Justice for Celeste. The discovery of Celeste Rivas' body in D4vd's Tesla has left the world stunned. It's a story filled with pain, mystery, and unanswered questions. Right now, we don't know the truth. But we do know this. A young girl is gone, a family is grieving, and investigators are working to uncover how this tragedy happened. As this story develops, remember, speculation isn't justice. Justice will come only when the full truth is revealed. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like and share this video so others can stay informed. And if you want more updates on this case as they unfold, make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay safe.